All right. Justin and Dre.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Justin and Dre, where are you guys from originally?
I'm from North Carolina.
I grew up in Victorville, California.
And you guys have been living in your car for a while, right?
Yeah.
Yes, sir. Unfortunately,
How'd you get into that situation?
due to circumstances upon me using methamphetamines and causing us to be evicted from our sober living.
You guys met how long ago?
Approximately 5 months ago.
July 23rd.
And Dre, you're using
I'm an alcoholic.
alcoholic.
I like fentanyl and methamphetamines, but I'll do any drug.
And when I'm in a blackout, I'll do any drug.
And you guys have been playing around with drugs since what age?
I started at the age of 12.
I would say I was like 15 the first time I tried weed.
I didn't get into heavy drugs until I was 25. Before it was just marijuana and alcohol. And then when I turned 25, I started using methamphetamines for work. And then it gradually increased to fentanyl. And then I just became a full-blown addict, using anything and everything.
Have you tried to quit?
Yes, multiple times.
Fentanyl's tough. I
It is.
take it.
Yes.
What was your childhood like growing up in North Carolina, Justin?
My childhood was very lavish. I loved it. It was very lavish. I was spoiled. My grandfather built yachts for a living. My dad's family, we did a whole bunch of outdoor experiences and events, and I was very. I had structure, stability, and then when I turned 14, I became a delinquent, and that's when I started using drugs and alcohol and partying, and I kind of pushed away my family. So
Why do you think that happened?
that sounds. I don't know. I started using drugs and alcohol just to fit in, and then my grandparents didn't like it and kind of shunned me away, kind of cut me off, and I just started going harder.
Do you talk with your family now?
Yes.
You do.
My mother and my father, that's it, and my daughters.
How many kids do you have?
I have 2 children. I have one, Abigail, she's 8, and I have one, Lavinia, she's 14.
And they're with the mom?
Yes, sir.
And Dre, you started early as well.
I started smoking weed. I think I tried it first time when I was like 15. And when I was 15 and a half, I think I tried alcohol for the first time. But I didn't go really hard until it was just here and there. I have 5 kids, so I got married at a young age and immediately had kids. And when my ex-husband broke my nose, I found out he had been doing drugs, and I had to, hold it together to take care of my kids and to support my family. So I didn't really become a hardcore alcoholic until after I had my 5th child in 2016. I was in a very volatile relationship. My ex-fiance he was very jealous, and I wasn't allowed to go outside. I couldn't take out the trash, I couldn't check the mail, and so I just started drinking. And I'd always drank here and there throughout the years, but I had a lot of responsibilities, so I was able to function and manage my life. But after I had my 5th child and I couldn't no longer leave the house, that's when the abuse was so bad that I just would drink and drink and drink. I didn't want to live anymore. I didn't know how to get out of my situation.
What was your childhood like?
I guess I thought it was a normal childhood. My parents were married until I was 14 and a half, 15. My dad was very violent. He would hit my mom, and he would beat the crap out of my brother and me. And it was very emotional and verbally and physically and mentally abusive.
Do you feel like your childhood's kind of led the way? I mean, not yours, Justin, but Dre, do you feel like your childhood kind of led the way to your choice in partners? And
Oh, definitely. I grew up not feeling very loved. I never felt like I was good enough. And I've just always had really, really low self-esteem.
What brought you to LA?
I initially came to LA from North Carolina for recovery. I got insurance, great insurance. A detox facility flew me out here. I completed a 30-day detox residential program and went to a sober living and continued treatment beyond there. Things got a little bit stressful for me, and I turned to the only thing that I knew that made me comfortable, which was drugs. So I left the rehab and I went to the streets of LA and started getting high. That lasted for a couple weeks, 2 or 3 weeks, and then I couldn't do it anymore. It's a different world over here in North Carolina. Streets are different.
Yeah, very different.
Yeah, and but one addict only knows one thing. So, but I just had enough of it, and so I got back into detox and got back into treatment and was doing good for a while. Met this lady. We were doing good. We were doing great, and then I relapsed again.
How long you guys been together?
Since July 23rd of this year, we met and in detox. It was a detox facility, but kind of like a PHP program.
And how do you guys feel? I mean, do you guys think that being a couple helps you in terms of like recovering, getting clean and all that, or does it get in the way?
It helps to not be alone, because when you're all alone, it's a lot darker. And when you have someone there with you, it helps get through like the really hard times.
But it kind of requires both of you guys to kind of get clean together, doesn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. When he relapsed, they kicked us out of our sober living, and this was the end of September. They kicked us out, and I was going to school full-time, Santa Monica. We didn't have a car yet, so we were like legit like homeless on the streets. Luckily, I was still getting disability, so I had some money coming in every 2 weeks, and I was able to get us a hotel room. I relapsed with him. I was under the impression that if I relapsed with him, then we can go to detox together, and then we'd be able to go back to our sober living. But that didn't turn out to be the case, because after I decided to relapse so that we can go together, then they would not accept us into detox. So now it's like, now we're both like on the streets and both under the influence. And I think we spent about a week living in hotels and trying to get into a detox. And we did get into a detox.
Boom, we went right in there. We left so much stuff at the hotel room, like, because when we left the sober living, like when we were in the sober living and she was getting disability, we were just enjoying life, just doing us, going out, going to the beach, just going walking, just doing whatever, going shopping.
Going hiking.
Yeah, just doing things.
Enrolled to go back into school full time.
Sprucing up our room and stuff, So when we got kicked out, here we are with all this stuff, like clothes and furniture and, and...
And nowhere to put it.
Yeah. So we went to a hotel room, and then moving from one hotel to the next, eventually this stuff just kept decreasing and decreasing. And when it was time for us to when we finally got into a detox, it was like, we're going right now. Like, not after we get out of the shower, not like after we go down and get something to eat. We're going right now. Oh, the Uber's outside. Only this will fit in the Uber. Well, that stuff, screw it. It's got to go. You know what I mean?
Cut your losses.
So we left so much stuff at that hotel, like clothes, electronics, and just because we couldn't fit it in the Uber to get to our detox, But you got to make sacrifices. And now we've gained all that stuff back. That was back in September. We've gained all that stuff back. We got a storage unit now full of stuff.
Where are you staying now?
In our car.
You living in your car?
Yeah, and the back window is busted out, and the very, very back window, the rear window is busted out, and the passenger window is busted out.
Jesus.
On Christmas, we were supposed to go to my family's house, and we slept in the car Christmas Eve, and in the morning I got up and started to get ready. We still had a bunch of Christmas presents we needed to wrap, and I was rushing him, nagging, nitpicking to hurry up because we got to wrap these presents so we can go to my dad's. We got to be at my dad's by 3. And he got mad and started to drive all crazy. He hit me, and I started crying.
Your dad hit you?
No, I did.
Oh, you did?
He hit me, yeah. And so when he got out of the car, I locked all the windows because I was scared. And so he broke them. He just went to the neighbor's yard and he grabbed a big-ass rock and threw it through the back window. And then when I got out the car, I started crying, and then he went to throw it again in the back windshield. So now it was like the the side window behind the driver's side and then the back windshield. So I asked the neighbor to call the police, and they did. And he took off running, and I ran after him. I was like, fuck this, you're going to jail. Like, you just, like, this is all I have. This is all I have is this car. Like, we're sleeping in the car, and now we don't even have windows. Like, so the cops came and cuffed him, and we're gonna arrest him. And I told them how he socked me in the throat and how he was hitting me. And then he was on the side, and he was like just not talking, but like mouthing the words like, "Please don't send me to jail on Christmas. Please don't send me." I guess he's been in jail the last few Christmases, and so he hasn't had a Christmas in a long time. I try to be very family oriented, so I never miss Christmas with my kids, and it's a kind of big thing with our family, and we like to get together and make a big family dinner and, just spend the whole day like just enjoying each other's company. It's Christmas, Well, when I saw it, he was like crying, and I was like, okay. So I asked the officer, I told him, okay, I wasn't gonna press charges. He told me his mom would fix my windows on Monday or the day after Christmas, and the cop was like, well, if he's hitting you, you're gonna have to retract your statement for us not to arrest him, because by law, we have to arrest him if this really happened. And it did really happen. But I retracted my statement so he wouldn't go to jail, thinking like things are we're gonna fix the situation. But things only escalated, and he was driving around all crazy, and he hit me a few more times, and he wouldn't let me leave the vehicle. And I was just crying, and I just started to like say the rosary, because my dad always taught me that when you're scared, just pray, say the rosary, and God will answer your prayers. So that's what I did. I eventually, we went and got some alcohol, and we started drinking, and I think I had some Seroquel, which is like my night meds they give me. So I just took my night meds. He took some night meds, and we just passed out to the next day. And the next day, I called in to work, and it was just like trying to put things back together, and so that we can get through the day, try to make a plan. Okay, how we need to try to get into a detox. We need to go with the rest of our stuff that's at the sober living, so we could finish putting the rest of the stuff in storage.
We both need to see a doctor because we both have been off of our
mental health meds
for 2 weeks, and that's putting a strong toll on both of us mentally.
Yeah. Well,
is that why maybe the physical abuse happened?
Yes, there's no justification for the physical abuse. I admit everything. I'm not denying it. I'm not going to lie about it. I'm not going to deny it. And there's no justification for it, but there's a reason for it. And me not being on medicated properly is part of the reason. We both suffer from anxiety, depression,
PTSD,
yeah,
ADD,
and we've been taking medication for that. But since we got kicked out of our sober living, we're no longer seeing a doctor. So we're not getting our meds.
I couldn't afford my meds. I've been off my meds probably I think about a month now. When I saw a psychiatrist through the program I was doing my IOP through. The doctor called in my meds, and when I went to pick up my meds, it happened to be, I don't know, like over $100, and I was broke. We had spent all our money on Christmas, so I was just been trying to put off everything until payday, which is today. Finally, I get paid today, so I could pay the storage and maybe get some of the medications that were called in for me. Not all of them, but maybe some of them. But yeah.
Where are you working?
I work at Kohl's. I also got a job at Erewhon. It's a health food store.
Right.
I only worked at Erewhon for about 2 weeks, and I let the job go because I just got a better job doing where I'm going to work at Graveyard at a mental health facility for struggling teens with mental health problems.
So you're supporting both of you?
Yes.
I was working at a detox facility, but I just got fired from there.
Looking back at your life, what do you guys wish you had done differently? Do you have regrets?
I wish that when I was after I had my baby and when Mr. Machado was like being very abusive towards me and abusive towards my kids, I wish to God when the police came that I would have told them what he was doing, because the kids told the police, and then I just denied it because I was afraid. I didn't want him to go to jail. And I was just scared if he gets to jail, when he gets out, he's really going to beat my ass, you know what I mean? Like, if he's beating my ass right now because I took the trash outside, can you imagine he goes to jail? He's going to come back, he's going to be way more furious, you know?
Mr. Machado is who?
Eric Machado, he was my ex-fiancé. He's the father of my 5th child.
You refer to him as Mr. Machado?
Well, actually, I call him Mr. Rogers because he used to be my neighbor, but his name's Eric Machado, and, you know, like, the abuse I endured through that relationship, I don't think anybody should have to go through that kind of stuff. I just was too afraid to tell the police, but because I didn't make reports, he now is like the person that's supposed to supervise my visitation with my baby. And, you know, he ended up hiring the same lawyer that divorced my mom and dad, the same lawyer that divorced me and my ex-husband. And because he makes a lot of money, he can afford a lawyer. And so the judge is always going to listen to whatever the lawyer says, you know what I mean? I can't afford a lawyer. I didn't want him to go to jail, but he was being very abusive, and he was hitting me. He raped me till I bled. Like, he did horrible things to me, really horrible things. And I was scared of him. I was terrified. Because he always told me if I leave, like, he was going to kill me, and I was just terrified. I didn't know what to do. I didn't want to live anymore. I would just drink. I got out of that relationship because my parents came and got me. My dad came with my ex-mother-in-law, and they came and got me and the kids while he was gone. He left, and they're like, he's going to be back within 30 minutes. You got to get in the car. And I was like, I can't. You know, if I leave, he's going to kill me. And I was just terrified. I was legit terrified. And they carried me to the car, and I never went back with him. And he tried to say that I was kidnapping the baby, but I was like, I'm not. We had no custody order. We were all living together in that house. And when we did go to court, he did like an ex parte to say like that I took the child from him and that basically I kidnapped the baby. And I was like, no, you know, I had called him and I told him that I went to family's house. I wouldn't tell him which family member because I didn't want him to show up because I was scared. But I admitted to the judge, you know, like, yeah, I do have a drinking problem. The last 2 years, I've been in this very abusive relationship. That doesn't mean, that's not an excuse, but I didn't know how to cope with all the abuse I was going through. I didn't know what to do. I didn't know how to handle the situation. I honestly didn't. I didn't know what to do. And so all I did was drink. And I did believe I had a problem. And I did believe I needed to go to rehab. I had asked him, like 6 months prior to those chain of events, I had asked him if I could go to rehab, and he was like, no. Because he didn't want no one to look at me. He was so jealous that he didn't want no one to look at me. So I couldn't go to a rehab where there might be a male there. You know what I mean? That's how I lost my privileges going to the grocery store, is because the guy bagging the groceries, I said thank you, and I wasn't allowed to say please or thank you if it was like a male on the receiving end. So it was just like when I told the judge on our ex parte, like, hey, this is how things have been. I do want to say, yeah, I am an alcoholic. Yes, I have been being a bad mother. This is true. I do need help.
Where are your kids?
Well, 3 of my children of the 5 are adults now, and my 2 minors, they're with their father.
How old are you guys?
I'm 42.
30.
Okay. And the psych meds that you're not taking are for which? What do you guys have that you would normally be taking the meds for?
Anxiety, depression, PTSD.
And Dre?
I have major depressive disorder. I have generalized anxiety disorder, I have PTSD, and I have ADD. And I've been on my psych meds for about, I want to say about 3 years now. So whenever I go off my meds, my life falls apart. I just can't afford them, right now.
And you've been through rehabs before?
Yes, I have. I entered rehab for the first time June 4th, 2018. And from there, I ended up I had 9 months. And then I relapsed off and on for about 6 months. And then I got another 6 months sober, and then I relapsed. And it's just been like, I'll get 9 months, relapse for 2 days. I'll get 3 months, relapse for a week. And it's like when I relapse, like, because I've been trying to get sober for the last few years, I've had more sobriety time than I have drinking time. So I have no tolerance to alcohol. I take 1 drink, and it's like, all of a sudden, it's like I need that. It's like the air I breathe. I need to have it, or I can't breathe inside. Like, my anxiety gets so out of control that it's very debilitating. I can't function when my anxiety is like that because I'm afraid. I don't know what I'm afraid of, but I'm fucking terrified,
What's your biggest fear now?
My biggest fear? I don't know. My kids not wanting to talk to me. My family being upset with me because I relapsed again. I had 14 months when I relapsed this last May. I had 14 months sober. And I relapsed off and on for 2 weeks, and then I went back to treatment. And then we met in treatment, that treatment facility. And then for 90 days, like, we were sober, maybe a little over 90 days, I don't know, up until I relapsed at the end of September. And I have no control. Like, once I take that first drink, I literally, I don't know, it's like I know that alcohol destroys my life. I know that it's taken everything from me. But it's like, once I take that first drink, it's like I can't think straight. It's like, that's all I can it's like, that's it. That's the only thing I can think of. It's like, even though I know that it's gonna destroy my life further, I can't help it. And then once after I have 2 drinks, I go into a blackout. So I don't even realize what I'm doing anymore because I'm not conscious. I am no longer coherent. And I will stay in that blackout until I run out of money, or I wake up in the hospital, or I wake up in jail for drunk in public.
Yeah, I've heard it said you have as an addict, you have an on switch, but you don't have an off switch.
Yeah, I've heard that.
And Justin, what would you say is your biggest fear?
Letting my children down again.
What's been your lowest point?
Being here in California and being in the streets. I can't function here.
You've had hard times on the streets?
Yes.
What kind of stuff have you been through?
Homelessness, burglary, violence, destruction.
You were telling me something that happened in MacArthur Park?
Yeah. So I went to go Christmas shopping. You can get decent shit at MacArthur Park for cheap. So I went to go Christmas shopping, and I dropped my money clip. Somebody seen it. And I went to go to the car to leave, and as I was backing up, 2 people rushed the door, one on the driver, one on the passenger, and there was one behind the car. And they held me at gunpoint. They took everything that I had. It was like $320 in cash, brand new cell phone, some Christmas presents, my backpack with varieties of stuff in it, and even the car keys. So.
Not the car, just the car keys.
Yeah. So I went back and told her and got her, and then we got an Uber back to where the car was, and we sat there for a while waiting for AAA to come with a tow truck. We sat there for hours because the AAA, the first one passed us, didn't even see us in the parking lot. He just kept going on the road. And then the second one that came, he had a flatbed when he needed the all-around wheel. So the third one, when he came, he was able to tow us, but he was only able to tow us for a certain distance, not as far as we needed to go. So then we had to call AAA back out there to make us a key. So we had to deal with all that in that one period of time.
Mind you, I had just walked 7 miles home from work to my sober living in the pouring rain.
Yeah.
Because
I had no way to get up with her.
It was this last Thursday when it was like raining, like like hardcore rain, not like a little bit, not a sprinkle. It would drizzle down to a sprinkle, but then it'd come back again, hard pouring rain, and then it would drizzle down. But the whole way, 7 miles. Honestly, I expected 7 miles to feel a lot longer than it did. But I mean, it took me 3 hours to walk the 7 miles. And by the time I got to the house, I felt so broken. He still wasn't home yet. I didn't know he had got robbed at gunpoint. All I know is he didn't pick me up from work. And I'm soaking wet. And I don't know where the car is. I don't know where he is. He had our only working cell phone. I've gone through a numerous amount of cell phones in the past few months. Every time he gets mad, he breaks the phone. So the only working phone we had was a government phone that I had just got in the mail, like maybe the week prior, or maybe not even the week. Yeah, maybe about a week, 7 days maybe prior. I went to Riverside, had it mailed to my dad's house. I picked it up, and that was the only working phone. So there was no way I could contact him or he could contact me because we don't have a phone. But yeah, it's just been a struggle, and I mean, I'm blessed to say at least I still have 2 jobs. However, I would like to get a hold of my mental health meds, and maybe go back to treatment for another 30 days, and try to get things all together under control again, because I can get a job. I'm a hard worker. I'm a good worker. That's not the problem. It's once I start drinking, it all goes downhill from there.
What do you think most people don't understand about drug addiction?
No one wants to be an addict. It's not fun. I don't enjoy it. I don't enjoy drinking at all anymore. It's not like I'm drinking because I'm like, this is gonna make me feel better. No, it's like my anxiety gets so out of control that I can't breathe inside, that I feel like I can't live. I literally feel like I'm losing my mind. I can't function. And the minute I take that first drink, it's like all of a sudden I could breathe again. The thing is, once I take that first drink, my entire thinking completely changes. And it's no longer like, okay, now you can breathe, what are we gonna do? Now it's like, I want more. No one wants it. I love my kids. I wanna be there for my kids. I was a good mom for 17 years. My oldest son is about to be 24. And my kids had a pretty decent childhood for the most part. I did everything I could to give them the best life that I could give them. And they never really wanted for anything, you know what I mean? They played sports. I was a soccer mom. I even volunteered coaching. I don't know anything about soccer, but I was even a soccer coach for a second there. But, it's like, you do what you gotta do for your kids, You learn to play catch. You learn to do those things. But see, that's before I was that's before I crossed the line of being able to stop drinking and be like, okay, I can't drink, I gotta go to work tomorrow. Before I could still be like, I gotta stop because I have a job I gotta go to. I gotta take my kids to school in the morning. I gotta make breakfast. I gotta make dinner. You know what I mean? Normal things. It's now that I've crossed that line, once I have any kind of alcohol or drug in me, it's that's all I think about. And it's not that I don't love my kids. It's not that I don't want to be a mom to them. It's that I can't control it.
It's like a form of medication for your anxiety now.
Yeah, it helps with my I can't breathe inside feeling. That's the worst feeling. I don't think people understand how bad anxiety, how bad that gets. With my depression, I could sleep my life away. I can lay in bed all day and just lay there and sleep. And it's crazy because it's just it doesn't get old. It's okay. I'll lay there. I don't want to shower. I won't want to eat. I won't care. And anybody who knows me knows I like to get ready, put my makeup on, put on some eyelashes, and I like to get fixed up where I look nice. And once I start using, I don't care about any of that. I don't.
Did you ever imagine when you were younger that you might end up in this situation one day?
No, by no means. Growing up, my parents were, while they were married, they were very strict parents. I'd never been around anybody that had been in and out of jail or did drugs, anyone that did drugs or anything like that. I can honestly say, growing up until my parents got divorced, yes, my dad was very violent, but I look back and I realize, like, he didn't do it because he was trying to hurt us. I know my parents, after being a parent now, I know my parents loved me, and they did what they did, maybe out of frustration, because they were young parents too, and because that's the way their parents were with them. So you know what I mean? So it was like a different generation. My parents were born in like 1960. So it was okay to spank your kids and, you know, beat the crap out of them. That was normal, you know? I still think that was normal, you know?
All right. Justin and Dre, thank you so much for sharing your stories. I wish you a lot of luck. I hope you guys figure out a way off the streets, you know, something better than a car to live in.
Yeah, there is light at the end of the tunnel. We're in touch with.
You guys still have hope. With
Becky and Paul, and I think we're going to go do their detox program. So.
Oh, so you're going to a program?
Yeah, after we leave here, that's where we're going.
To a program.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, and you just need to notify my 2 jobs so that I don't like to leave my team hanging. You know, I like to be a team player. So I just want to notify my boss that I'm going to go to a mental health facility for 30 days and try to get my life back in control.
And you're both going?
Yes, we're going together.
That's great.
Yeah, we're ready to shower and, you know, properly nutrition ourselves and mentally see a doctor and get back on our medication.
Yeah, I mean the mental health, the psych meds, all that I think is a big part of it. Also, just believing that you deserve a better life is a big part of it too. All right. Love to do a checkup with you after you've been through that.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course.
That'd be very interesting.
Thank you.
All right, you guys. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.